don't get this done now, I'm never gonna get it done. Yo, what's up, guys? Today, I'm gonna give a little bit of a life update for everybody watching here today, talking about the direction of the channel, what's going on in my life, and things that have been happening circling my life. If you watched the last video, and specifically about me getting scammed, I can confirm after about a month and a half here that there is no way I'm getting the money back. It is confirmed that 27K gone, poof, disappeared. Don't ever have to think about it ever again. Will I make that money back in due time? Yes, but at the end of the day, it's basically gone. So here we are today, where I did a lot of pondering. I did a lot of thinking, I would say. I know that I promised you guys content, and yes, if you have been following the channel, or at the very least the streams, I've been trying to be as consistent as possible with it. You know, it started off like, yes, as consistent as I possibly can, but later down the line, I started thinking about the direction and the brand that I kind of want to provide, right? Because at the end of the day, I think we all need to recognize that this doesn't last forever, right? Like, we can all agree on that, right? Like, I can't possibly be streaming Mobile Legends for the next 10, 20 years of my lifetime, and then maybe that somehow put together is going to be able to help me afford a house, help me, you know, do all my adulting life. I'm 27 years old. I cannot stress that enough, you know? In my mind, it feels like a lot of time has already passed, and I have made very little progress, or at the very least, I've taken a couple of steps back because of the scam, but recently, I think it's gone beyond that, right? It's not just about me anymore, right? I have a girlfriend that I eventually want to marry, that I want to start a life with, and that doesn't seem very possible with the situation that I am in currently now, or more so, even beforehand. I thought when I was doing MLBB, and more importantly, not related to MLBB whatsoever, when I did casting and dropped out of 2 degrees, I thought that casting was going to be a good way to propel me so far ahead of life that all my friends who had degrees, all my friends who had masters, are going to start falling behind financially if, you know, things work out well. And yes, I'm not gonna lie, MLBB has done a lot for me, and I'm always gonna be grateful and thankful for that. But at the end of the day, is this something that I want to do for the rest of my life? And that's where I started to think a lot, like so much so, like a stressful amount of thinking, like a depressing amount of thinking. Recently, especially for the past couple of, well, I wouldn't even say weeks at this point, but for at least a full month, it has been a roller coaster. So before I get into the depressing stuff, I want to quickly make a big shout out to the people who have supported me. People like Daryl, Mirko, someone, Space Mio, Abstract, Dennis L, Faiz, someone, DJ Y, someone, another someone, 2 anonymous people, Shadow Murderer. All of these people have donated to me through the streams that actually helped me make it through some of the hardest, well, I wouldn't even say the hardest parts of my life, but this very difficult period. And for that, I'm going to be forever grateful for that. Thank you so much to these people who have donated enough for me to kind of get by and kind of put my life back together. Now, in terms of my current situation, I had to take a loan, obviously, and luckily my parents and my family have been very supportive of me through this entire process, through whatever I've been going through, right? They haven't really shunned me because I've been so stupid and things like that. They understand that it happens sometimes, and obviously I want to be able to make the money back so that I can pay the loan back to be able to survive the next couple of months. And yes, the next couple of months will be totally fine. You don't have to, you know, donate out of pity, but if you do want to support the channel, you can easily subscribe right here, or maybe even consider you know, coming onto the live streams, you know, helping out with social media. You can find my TikTok and stuff like that. I'm getting beyond the point. But me personally, I thought a lot about what kind of content do I want to make, and what kind of content do I want to do for a long period of time. And I did a lot of research. I was looking through a lot of people to see how they could just keep having the motivation to do content, because editing is not only, one, time consuming, but it gets easier the better you are at editing. But at the end of the day, it's just, it's soul crushing to me. It sucks the living soul out of me, and I don't have the finances to pay for an editor, so I have to do it all myself now, which is totally fine. I can absolutely still do it. Don't expect the best of quality, of course, but yeah, I was thinking about what do I want to do specifically? What am I interested in, right? And over the past couple of weeks or so, I've really deep dived into the branding, or at least the channel direction, for lack of better words. What kind of videos do I want to make, basically, right? And I thought about the things that I'm interested in, right? MLBB esports, I'm really into TFT, I'm also really into Valorant, and Valorant esports, and TFT esports. Well, the esports part comes naturally, alright? I love esports. The game just supplements that part of me that just has the competitive drive, and seeing people succeed gives me a joy that I cannot describe. It's euphoric almost. But the other things that I am interested in are things like casting as an art form, being able to kind of talk about it. Podcasting, for an example, is something that I've been very much interested in doing, but never really found the time to do it because it's difficult to podcast by yourself. I mean, I could, but I would very much like to have a genuine connection with people. And finally, self-improvement. I think, you know, over these past couple of weeks, I have this, what do they call it? What's the term that people call it? Hyperfixation. Yes. I've been hyperfixating over multiple things, multiple different genres, types of videos, whether it be cooking, whether it be self-help, whether it be relationships and things like that. Anything that is correlated to what I am experiencing or in my life as of right now. And that's sort of what I want to do, but does that really help the branding of the channel? You know, I'm the MLBB caster, I'm the international yada yada yada, casting big tournaments, you know essentially you know the drill, right? And as much as I love casting, and yes, it is a very large source of my income as of right now, I want to be able to propel myself even farther forward, right? I want to do some cool things, and as of right now, it's a little bit difficult to do so, and more importantly, so can I do it for a long time, are the big questions that I need to answer at the end of the day. So, in terms of the videos that I am going to make, here is what I can promise you guys in terms of the content that's going to be coming out on the regular, right? In terms of schedule, Mondays, we are looking to start a new piece of content, a podcast, in a matter of fact, something that everybody, all the casters are interested in doing, of course, the MPL After Hours. It's a podcast that will be recorded on stream, live, and then afterwards edited and condensed down for you guys later on who didn't catch the stream, and it's going to be happening on Mondays. Wednesdays are going to be the times where I do my regular streams, and Fridays through Sundays, depending on my schedule, is going to be MPL MY, so that is going to be very seasonal based. The schedule obviously is going to change, but the Mondays and Wednesdays, that is not going to change for you guys, right? For the most part, until the MPL kind of wraps up, and then the next international tournament is up and coming and getting ready to do stuff, and maybe we even might put the MPL After Hours in a different direction once the regular seasons are over and the international seasons are over as well. And then once we're in the off seasons, maybe we could have like cool things go on with maybe players, maybe coaches, maybe again, obviously I want to highlight the casters because I feel they are an integral part of the esports ecosystem, and to a certain degree I feel like underappreciated, right? Obviously there are those who are like big casters and, you know, big numbers, and it's gonna feel a little clout shady, but clout shady? No, clout chasing. Man, words are hard. Clout chasing, but these are people that I have genuine connections with, people that are considered close friends of mine even, right? They're not just coworkers anymore, and I think that's something that I wanted to talk about. Personal self-improvement. I think there's a lot of things that I've been lacking in these past couple of years for a long time, and it's not just because I'm in a financial rut right now, but more so it's got me thinking about, you know, my past transgressions, my experiences that I had in the past that kind of shaped me to who I am today, my fears, and obviously things that are holding me back from excelling more in the future. And I think one of them is just the general fear of judgment from people, you know, on the type of content that I want to produce, which is a very big reason why I've been struggling to kind of produce videos in the first place, because either I'm not happy with the quality overall, or generally I just don't feel like it's worth doing and it's not worth watching for. That's also another part of it, right? So obviously it's a two-way conversation here, right? It may be interpersonal, but at the very least your feedback actually matters. It's not going to be like the report system on MLBB where you get an automated message and they have to detect based off of stats. No, this is, I'm going to be actively looking at the comments, and I always do. It's not like I have a big channel in the first place, so at the very least, if you do leave a comment, I probably have already seen it, read it, and have taken it into account. Now, that being said, right, life goals, things that I want to do, things that I'm going to be generating my content around so that I don't lose motivation for it, so it gives me a reason why I want to kind of like throw it out to the public in the first place. I'm trying to sell myself, I guess, more than I am trying to sell the MLBB space. And it begs the question, who am I? I had to take a lot of introspect. I took a lot of time to think about this, meditating under waterfalls, you know, tarot readings, whatever people do, palm read, whatever you're into, right? Essentially, a lot of introspect on myself to kind of rediscover, if not learn more about my own interests and what do I really center myself around. And a lot of that comes down to, I'm an esports enthusiast. Don't worry, you guys are not going to miss out on, at least for the most part, updates on things going on around the MLBB space. You know, they are a very large part of my career, and I don't think that's ever really going to go away. I am also interested in things like Valorant as well as TFT, so I could incorporate that later on, but that's not going to be the general focus. It's still going to be Mobile Legends centric, but we are going to add a little bit more personal content. I'm not just going to say that we're going to do vlogs, because I feel like vlogs are kind of boring to do, and kind of, dude, let me tell you, I tried to vlog me purchasing breakfast, and even that alone was pretty cringe. Walking out in public with a camera, not exactly recommended, I'll tell you that. Not because people are giving you funny looks, but it just looks weird to go out in public doing this all day. Just going around talking to a camera in front of you, not caring about the world around you as if like nobody else exists. It's crazy. I don't know how people do that. Some people are much better than it than I am. That's not exactly my shtick, but I will try and share as much as I can with you, right? Couple of things that I will be centering my content around, especially if you're going to be leaning in towards TikTok for the upcoming future. Number one, I'm actually quite interested in voice acting. I like making little voices. I obviously can't just go super deep and talk like Brimstone all the time, but you get the rough idea. That's something that I am interested in and kind of want to lean in towards. Maybe if I get paid for it, that'd be kind of nice. And yes, I have been working on a couple of things in the past, like Anime Town, for an example. Right here, this is their portrait. I'm going to edit that in later. Edit it in here. Boom. You can also find the link down in the description. It's basically a top 10 anime watch list for pretty much anything, whatever genre you're looking for, whatever like concepts, whatever ideas that you want to talk to. You can go check out Anime Town. I do voice narration for it, and go support them if you want to. Another thing that I want to do generally is going to be podcasting and being able to kind of like open myself up in a way that not just opening up, if I say that, it sounds kind of weird. I would say that I want to genuinely be able to have a conversation with people. I want to be able to show you guys personality that is not me in front of a camera and I amp myself up by like 1000%, you know? I want something to be a little bit more genuine at the end of the day. And I think that's the rough direction that I want to go to. It's not complete, of course, but it's where I'm leaning towards too. More importantly, I think life goals. Goals are important to have. So a couple of life goals. Voice acting, obviously, something that I want to dabble my feet into. Second of all, having a studio one day, right? Having a studio to create cool shit and make cool shit for you guys. And obviously be financially free. And that's going to come with your support. For those watching the video, sharing the video, liking the video even, and following the rest of my socials. That would be very helpful. But yeah, back on the introspecting. I learned a lot about myself in these past couple of days. The depression definitely kicked in, and it really questioned it questioned like a lot of my insecurities. Things like, oh, am I actually funny? Ooh, do I actually have something to say? Ooh, do I have an opinion? Why am I always so neutral? Does this affect the relationships around me? Does it make it so that I distance myself from everybody else because I'm afraid to get hurt, or more importantly so, I am fear of the judgment of the closest people around me? And I think, yes, it is a lot of those things, but generally, I want to improve on myself, right? Number one, I want to improve on my sleep schedule, you know, self-care at the very least, make sure that I'm not scruffy all the time. I'm getting older and things are getting harder. I need to actually worry about my health, like a lot. I've got so many more vitamins than I would like to have, you know. I'm 27 and I need to prepare for the future. That's the unfortunate truth about it all. But at the end of the day, I want to be able to bring you guys along for the ride. And for the upcoming future, leave a comment. Your feedback is heard. And also maybe consider joining the Discord, because the Discord is now becoming a place where it's pretty interesting. We got a lunch review section. We talk about the lunches that we are having, the food that we are eating, and especially during this time of Ramadan. It's a pretty fun time. It's a pretty fun thing to do. Now, another thing that I do want to actually work on and actually want to eventually produce is having a podcast with me as well as my girlfriend. I think that we have incredible conversations, and I think that it's something worth throwing out to the public. I think that you guys will be genuinely interested in the things that we talk about, how we talk about them. We are... Would I say funny people? I don't know. I don't know until it comes out, but it's definitely something that I feel that is necessary to do to be able to work on content is time consuming. And I think to have that little space for us to kind of have genuine deep connection and, you know, setting a time to do that and check up on each other emotionally while we are kind of like, as of right now, previously she used to work under me, but now that I got scammed and I have no money, she's gone back to freelancing and, you know, looking for jobs and things like that to, you know, make ends meet. At the end of it, we are two separate beings, but we are moving towards the same goal, and that's to have a life together. So I think it'd be kind of nice. It'd be kind of nice to have something a little personal, you know, between the two of us. Other than that, I hope that you guys have been enjoying these videos, or at the very least, as you can tell, a little all over the place because I'm going off script. I have a notepad with just like a bunch of pointers here, and that's about all that's about all I have. Most of this is coming off the top of my head, and it's probably not going to make a lot of sense until I edit it down. But at the very least, thank you. That's all I have to say. Thank you for coming along for the journey. Thank you so much for supporting me during this difficult time. For those who have shown love and support, I really, really do appreciate it. And I don't know how to express how much I appreciate it other than working harder and providing you guys content worth watching on YouTube at the very least, you know? And if it works out, it works out. What can I say? If it doesn't work out, well, I gotta figure something else out. And when that does happen, I'll let you guys know. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.